Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
Dominican public servants get paid despite stagnation of revenue after Hurricane Maria. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, October 5. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. Government's revenue earning capacity may be on pause following Hurricane Maria last month, but Dominica's public servants still got their payday. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt says Dominica is meeting its financial obligations to its employees. They received their salaries for last month, even though Dominica has not earned $1 since the devastation caused by the Category 5 hurricane. Speaking at Wednesday's daily briefing, Skerritt said that his administration is also in talks with the private sector on plans to get functional as quickly as possible. And he hinted at the possibility of providing land and concessions in that regard. The Prime Minister says while salaries were paid and the government had been meeting its financial obligations, further discussions will be held with creditors.
We paid salaries for the month of September, which is an extraordinary effort on the part of the government, and I have also ensured as Minister of Finance that we keep to our legal obligations in terms of interest payments and loans for the month of September. Obviously, we will need to have further discussions with our creditors and to see where we are and how we treat with those matters in the next months and years going forward.
Skerritt also indicated that the authorities would be examining the possibility of lifting the state of emergency and curfew in some areas, but he says that would depend on the advice provided by police.
I would urge residents to continue and citizens to continue to respect the curfew. We are still not taking this lightly. We have to ensure we respect the curfew. You have no business being out. Stay in. And we will be assessing the issue regarding the state of emergency this week and also the curfew, because the intention is to end the curfew in some parts of the country, because we have been able to stabilize the situation in large measure. So the idea is to maybe have it reduced to certain localities rather than the entire country. But that advice will be given by the Chief of Police sometime today, who the Minister of National Security and the Attorney General are in discussions with the Chief of Police and the security advisors on this matter.
Skerritt said a decision on the resumption of commercial flights at the Douglas Charles Airport will also be taken soon. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister disclosed that Ross University, a medical school which opened in Dominica in 1978, has committed to remaining there, and he says the government is working with the university's administrators to have classes resume in January next year.
I will be meeting with property owners by this weekend, those who provide accommodation to faculty and students and staff at Ross University, to speak to them and to find out how can we work together to ensure that those properties that were impacted by Maria, we can work together to get them operational the soonest. And I'm setting very early, mid-November, to have all properties in the Portsmouth area which provide services tourists to be properly functional, because that is going to be very important in the consideration for the recommencement of classes at Ross University in January.
Staying in Dominica, the island's indigenous people are confident their Kalinago territory will rise from the destruction caused by Hurricane Maria. CMC's Kenton Chance is on the ground in the community of Batica and filed this report.
The tent in the yard paints a different picture. It could easily have been part of a summer camp. But a look around Batica in Kalinago territory in northeastern Dominica provides an accurate description. This is devastation caused by Hurricane Maria when it slammed into the nature island on September 18. The hurricane has claimed at least 26 lives while a further 32 persons are missing, according to official figures. It has also devastated housing and agriculture as well as many other sectors of the Dominican society. As a result, Ken Ogie's house is again home to his adult children and their families.
They had to come because of the hurricane. They were homeless. They are homeless, in fact, now.
It is a tight squeeze for the 12 persons in this compound.
Do you mind if I ask you about your living accommodations now after the storm?
That's where I'm staying right now, in this tent. I sleep here and then I eat in the kitchen over there.
So who stays there with you? Is this your baby?
Yeah, that's my daughter and my son.
How old is she?
My daughter is 2, she'll be 3 years in November.
And your son is how old?
14.
Basic necessities such as food and water are in short supply.
We are experiencing some food shortages. We also experience water shortage because the pipes have the water system is damaged. And so we depend solely on rainwater. Some days we have to go to a little spring to get some water to drink.
Mr. Ogies is a farmer. He planted passion fruit and pepper, all of which Hurricane Maria totally wiped out.
The majority of people here, they're farmers. They depend on their farms to survive. The little bit of civil servants we have is very almost not so significant.
Emmeline, Mr. Ogies' daughter, is a nursing assistant. She has been reporting to work notwithstanding her own housing challenges and is confident that they would rebound after Maria's devastation.
It will take a little while. Things don't happen in a flash. Things like that will take a while.
Have you been able to explain that to your children?
Yes, every day.
Do you think they understand?
Well, for my son, yes. But for her, seeing the physically, like in terms of the home, staying in a home, she's kind of confused as to where is home.
And having survived Hurricane David in 1979, Mr. Ogies knows that indigenous Dominicans, like the rest of the country, have what it takes to bounce back.
Once they get the assistance, they get material, they get basic things like galvanized, for covering nails, etc. Maybe, some lumber to some extent and so on. They will rebuild very, very quickly.
And with such confidence expressed by the adults, the children can share a light moment amidst the destruction and devastation around them. Kenton Chance, CMC News, Batica, Dominica.
United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres will this weekend visit 2 Caribbean nations battered by recent hurricanes to survey the damage and assess what more the UN can do to help the recovery process. He announced on Wednesday that he will visit Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica on Saturday. Guterres said that so far, the UN and its partners have provided a range of humanitarian assistance to the Caribbean by air and by sea, and that includes 18 tons of food, 3 million water purification tablets, 3,000 water tanks, 2,500 tents, 2,000 mosquito nets, and school kits. He said the UN has also launched appeals for $113.9 million to cover humanitarian needs for the immediate period ahead. But he is not pleased with the response. In fact, the UN boss said that even though some partners have stepped up to the plate, the response has been generally poor, and he urged donors to respond more generously in the weeks to come. Meantime, members of the newly formed UN World Tourism Organization Disaster Recovery Working Group will meet in Grenada next week to discuss how to assist tourism-dependent member states recently ravaged by natural disasters. The meeting will be held during the Caribbean Tourism Organization's biggest tourism gathering in the region, the annual State of the Tourism Industry Conference, SOTIC. Jamaica's Minister of Tourism, Edmund Bartlett, is coordinator of the Disaster Recovery Working Group, and he says he plans to immediately start looking at developing and mobilizing support for the region because, and I quote, tourism is hurt if the Caribbean is hurt, and if the Caribbean is hurt, global tourism is hurt, end of quote. The Association of Trinidad and Tobago Insurance Companies, ATIC, on Wednesday said insured losses in the Caribbean this hurricane season have surpassed $50 billion and a large percent of property in storm-battered islands was underinsured. It pointed out that the level of insured losses are expected to wipe out more than 15 to 20 years of the profits of reinsurers and insurers who do business in affected islands. The ATIC also said there is an expectation that for some regional insurers, the losses will result in a capital event. It said insurers who do business in the Caribbean have been issuing advisories to the regional insurance industry to plan for much higher rates during the upcoming renewal of their insurance programs. One major insurance provider has already indicated that insurance premiums will increase from 20% to more than 200%. And those increases won't only be seen in islands affected by storms, but throughout the region. Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, a Trinidad and Tobago trade union leader criticizes government for excluding protection measures for the vulnerable in the budget. That story and more when we return. Stay with us.
To the gem of the Caribbean, Antigua and Barbuda.
A warm welcome awaits you at our state-of-the-art VC Bird International Airport.
I must say that Antigua is in wonderful shape. 5 minutes off the boat and we're already in paradise.
Antigua was not that damaged by the storm as much as Barbuda was. The hotels are still open, the beaches are still clean, and the people are still friendly.
With Antigua, it's the people that really await you.
Hurricane Irma may have hit a little bit, but you can't even tell that it was ever here. The beach is wonderful. I'm having a great time.
Everything is just as we remember. No storm damage.
We're here and we're open. And we're better than ever.
I do a lot of destination weddings, and I see weddings that could happen here, and they would be in love with it.
I can't say enough about how in love with Antigua I am.
It is one nation, two islands, and I'm loving it.
Do you want a real Barbadian experience with peace and tranquility? A home away from home feeling? Come and stay at Best E Villas. We offer 2 amazing locations to choose from, Prospect St. James or Christchurch. Plan a staycation for your anniversary, birthdays, summer or winter breaks, or any special event. Best E Villas is located in close proximity to our lovely beaches. Call us now at 246-425-9751 or visit us at bestevillas.com and make your booking for the best in villas.
I'm halfway through it, and that's heading into an area called Newtown. There are 2 hotels that are adjacent to each other here. One is called Evergreen, and the sign used to be very visible there from the street on the wall, and the structure clearly has received some damage. I can see windows missing.
One of Trinidad and Tobago's most powerful trade unions has criticized the government for not including coping measures for ordinary citizens in the 2017-2018 budget that was announced this week. A raft of new and increased taxes was outlined when Finance Minister Combe Imbert presented government's plans for earning revenue in the upcoming fiscal year. The Keith Rowley administration has been harshly criticized by several groups for increasing the tax burden carried by individuals and businesses. President of the Oilfields Workers Trade Union, Ansel Roger, says protections for ordinary people should have been put in place.
It's okay to tell us that everybody's going to get taxed, you know. But if you did not put mechanisms in place to protect the poor and ordinary citizens, the vulnerable, working people, people who are being sent home on a daily basis, if you did not put mechanisms in place to ensure that they don't pass that on to the population, well then what in fact you do? You hit us a double whammy.
Meanwhile, the Solid Waste Management Company Limited has welcomed the proposed environmental tax. The finance minister had announced that a $20 tax would be levied on every tire imported, and the revenue collected would help defray the cost of proper tire disposal. The tax is scheduled to be implemented on December 1st this year, and the Solid Waste Company said it hopes the initiative helps to reduce the indiscriminate dumping of tires and to alleviate the current environmental challenges. The premier event of the Caribbean Tourism Organization, known as the State of the Industry Conference, SOTIC, has been challenged by the passage of Hurricanes Irma and Maria. Prior to the two Category 5 hurricanes which wreaked havoc in several islands, including Barbuda, Anguilla and Dominica, SOTIC 2017 expected a turnout of more than 300 participants. But since the hurricane, the CTO has reported several cancellations. Nonetheless, host country Grenada says the show will go on. We get more in this report from GBN's Eugenia Peters.
Before Hurricanes Irma and Maria devastated some parts of the Caribbean, expectations were for 300 persons registering for the conference, which will be held next week in Grenada. But that number has now been significantly reduced to 130 persons, inclusive of locals. As a result, the GTA, along with its partners, government and the Caribbean Tourism Organization, the CTO, has taken the decision to reduce the registration fee from $162 to $100 for a full-day package and a 3-day package from $404 to $270. GTA CEO Patricia Ma says they are encouraging locals to register as the conference seeks to offer priceless opportunities for those involved in the industry.
Well, you have to look at it on the bright side. Grenada has a massive opportunity to grow tourism right now in light of what has happened in the region. Yeah? And we are getting more cruise ships coming in than before, ever before. We're going to get more stayover visitors than ever before. And we have an opportunity as a destination to maximize this opportunity. And right now the CTO is working with us, and they have said we're going to make this local registration fee unbeatable.
The question was asked why planners have not opted for a cancellation of the event given the low registration figures. The GTA head had this response.
No, absolutely not. Because this is a very important event to show the world that, one, Grenada is open for business. Yeah, we were not, fortunately, not impacted by the hurricanes. Number two, the Caribbean is open for business. There are several destinations that were not impacted by the hurricanes. Jamaica, Barbados, the ABC Islands, you know, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Tobago, the list goes on. And these markets are open for business, and it's a very important statement we want to share with the rest of the world that the Caribbean is open for business, and one Caribbean, we are strong.
The State of the Industry Conference will be held October 10th to the 13th at the Radisson Grenada Beach Resort under the theme Supercharging the Caribbean Brand, Meeting the Needs of the New Explorer.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, first-class cricketers urged to use the upcoming season to grab the attention of selectors. Stay with us, sport is around the corner.
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the colour of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace an experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
So take us back 12, 15,
What was life like back then, and does it matter?
Well, it does matter now. I mean, because fossil fuels at that time was not oil, nor was it coal. It was the woods. It was the forest. It was, we could call it the rainforest if you wanted. But that time it was the woodlands or the forest. And England had recently been invaded, it felt, by the Normans.
There was a vague feeling, even amongst people who normally were quite right-wing, that this is going to force the system to change and possibly push through some reforms that are quite necessary to stop this happening again. But here we are 6 years later, and they go on merrily, the same way as before. How do you explain this total...
Director of Cricket Jimmy Adams has urged players to use the upcoming first-class season to stake their claim for a place in the higher level. The four-day season is set to bowl off on October 26, and Adams said the three-month season provided the ideal chance for youth cricketers and fringe players to grab the attention of selectors for the senior teams. Adams says it's also an opportunity to see young players that have just come out of youth cricket and to showcase the depths of West Indies talent. The first-class tournament will kick off the West Indies domestic season, which also includes the regional Super 50 one-day tournament next January and the Caribbean Premier League at the back end of next summer. For the fourth straight year, the season will be played under a home and away format, which will again see 10 rounds of matches, a feature Adams said was key to player development. West Indies women remain fifth in the latest International Cricket Council Women's Team rankings, but have dropped 4 points following their wretched run at the recent 50-over World Cup in England. The Windies women are on 101 points behind new table leaders England, who gained 3 points to overtake Australia at the top. England won the World Cup when they beat India in the final by 9 wickets at Lord's last July, while Australia reached the semi-finals before losing to India. India remained fourth but jumped 3 points to 116 to close in on third spot held by New Zealand on 118 points. West Indies entered the World Cup as one of the favourites following their capture of the T20 World Cup last year, but failed to live up to expectations, finishing sixth, only above Pakistan and Sri Lanka. The Caribbean side will launch a bid for direct qualification for the 2021 World Cup when they take on Sri Lanka women in a 3-match one-day international series in Trinidad and Tobago from October 11th to 15th. Over to football. Guyana will begin its campaign for a place in the 2022 FIFA World Cup with an international friendly against Grenada this weekend. The lineup will be boosted with the inclusion of England-based players Terence Van Kooten and Kai Mackenzie Lyle. Guyana will be further strengthened by the inclusion of Warren Crayville, and he's a defender who plays for Philadelphia Union in Major League Soccer. While the team is setting sights on a World Cup final berth, the head coach also wants the Caribbean side returned as one of the most fearsome teams in regional football. Eson Griffith of Capital Sports tells us more.
The national team will be departed from Trinidad and Tobago on Thursday for a few days of encampment before heading to Grenada for an international friendly. Reports are that US-based player Neil Dans, along with defender Warren Carville and captain Englishman Samuel Cox, are expected to join the camp ahead of the game. Head coach Wayne Dover says he has high expectation for the national team.
Well, first and foremost, we want to come out on top in terms of the results, and we also want to see the entire group of players played with cohesion, where we can build from that and bring Guyana back to where it used to be in terms of being a force in the region, despite the absence of, the Caribbean Cup or a Gold Cup qualification. We had once, been one of the most feared team in the region. So we want to get back there, and then as we deal with it in stages, focus on making a Caribbean last four, hence will take us to the Gold Cup. So we will be working towards that objective.
And staying with football, Jamaica's Reggae Boys will play Saturday's friendly international against Saudi Arabia in Jeddah now instead of Riyadh, following a late venue change. The Observer newspaper said the game, originally scheduled for King Fahd International Stadium, would now be played in the coastal port city where several football stadiums are located. No reason for the change was given, neither was the name of the new stadium venue specified. The Jamaicans who left on Tuesday were expected to fly from Washington, D.C. directly to Jeddah on Wednesday. The friendly international marks only the fourth meeting between the two teams, with the last coming 18 years ago in California in the United States. Of the three meetings, Jamaica won once and lost one, and the other encounter ended in a draw. The Saudis are World Cup bound, having finished second to Japan in Group B of the Asian section of the qualifiers. In hockey, Guyana's national hockey team will be intensifying efforts to book a spot in the Hockey Indoor World Cup set to take place in Berlin in February next year. According to head coach Robert Fernandez, the team has been showing signs of improvement at recent tournaments, and he is hopeful that stickmen will stand up to the likes of Argentina and Canada when they face off in a Pan American Championships this month. Isan Griffith of Capital Sport tells us more.
The national squad will be intensifying its preparation ahead of the Pan American Championship. This is according to national coach Robert Fernandez, who said he was impressed with the national male and female select squad in the recent G20 Indoor Hockey Championship.
It improved throughout the tournament. I thought they had a lot more flow in terms of they were executing at a higher level of intensity and at a faster pace, so I'm pleased with that. Also, the defensive structure I thought worked really well. They were able to limit the opponent's scoring opportunities, and that created the counter-attacking opportunities for ourselves. No? We still got some work to do on our set plays, our penalty corners, and so on, but these last 2 weeks are just about kind of putting the finishing touches on it, and I think we're in a good position. I'm just hoping that the home crowd and home court advantage will just give us that little extra thing.
He said the international tournament will be of a high standard, since the national team will be engaging teams from Mexico, Argentina and Canada. As such, the national team will have to be well prepared for the tournament.
Definitely, it will require a higher level of intensity because it's a World Cup qualifier. The winner of the tournament goes to the Indoor World Cup in Germany next year. So all these teams that are coming here have been working hard for several months and are looking to get the same opportunity that we are hoping to get as well. With the absence of the US men, we are now the number 2 seed in the competition. So we really have to push to get past Canada. And although we're the number 2 seed, Argentina is still among the best in the world. They're the Olympic outdoor champions. And I expect they'll have a much stronger team in the indoor competition than they had last time.
The Pan American Championship will be held from the 15th to the 21st at the National Cliff Hansen Sports Hall.
And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044. or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event. Again, the major developments of this day: Dominica's public servants get paid despite stagnation of government revenue after Hurricane Maria. And in sport, West Indies Director of Cricket Jimmy Adams urges first-class cricketers to use the upcoming season to grab the attention of selectors. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, log on to CondaNews.com. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and do have yourselves a good night.